Hey everyone, and welcome back to another deep dive. We're
Mhm.
so glad you're all here ready to, really get into the nitty-gritty of these complex ideas. We
Yeah.
want to make sure you can grasp these concepts without feeling like you're drowning in a sea of information.
Exactly.
So today we're going deep on something I think we all grapple with, at least to some extent.
Mhm.
How do we grow and change as people? How do we become better versions of ourselves?
Mm.
And to guide this deep dive, you sent over two really fascinating pieces.
Right.
The first one, let's see, 15 personality development activities for personal growth. I think that was from Better Up.
Yeah, better up.
And then there was the importance of self-improvement and personal growth. That was from Top Practices.
That's right.
What I find really cool about these two pieces is, well, they come at this whole idea of personal growth from different angles,
Yeah.
but they actually end up complementing each other really well. Like
Oh.
one gives us the hands-on, okay, here's what you can actually do part,
Mm-hmm.
and the other emphasizes why this kind of intentional growth is so important,
Uh-huh.
especially in, work and just achieving bigger goals in life. So our mission today, I guess you could say, is to distill the gold nuggets,
Yeah.
the core principles, the actionable stuff from both of these resources to give you, the listener, a solid understanding of how you can actively work on yourself, on becoming the person you want to be.
I like that.
Okay, so first things first. When we talk about personality, what are we even talking about?
Right. Right.
What does that word actually mean?
Well,
The Better Up article has this really helpful definition.
okay.
It says, personality is basically like this unique mix of traits and behaviors, the stuff that makes you you.
Yeah.
And it's shaped by two forces: nature, your genes and all that, and nurture, everything you've experienced, your environment, all of that.
That's the classic debate, isn't it?
It is. It is.
Yeah.
And personality, according to them, covers so much ground. It's like your core characteristics, your interests, what motivates you,
Right.
your values, your abilities, how you handle emotions, even how aware you are of yourself. It's a lot,
It is.
right? So it's not just one thing. It's all these different elements working together. It's like a recipe.
A recipe, yeah, that's a good analogy.
Now, I think a question a lot of us have is, can this personality actually change?
Right.
Is it fixed or is it more fluid? For a long time, there was this idea that by the time you're like 5 years old, your personality is pretty much set. That came from some early psychological theories.
Mm-hmm.
But the Better Up article points out that nowadays we see things differently. Personality is way more flexible. It keeps evolving as we go through life, through big events, and importantly, through conscious effort. If you really work at it, you can change things.
Yeah. And that's really empowering, isn't it? It means we're not stuck.
Exactly.
It's not about like completely overhauling your entire personality.
Right.
It's more about refining and developing specific skills, traits, certain characteristics. It's like polishing a gem to make it shine even brighter.
Yeah, I like that. So, okay, if we're talking about actually working on ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
Better Up distinguishes between these three things:
Mm-hmm.
personal development, professional development, and personality development.
Okay, interesting. Yeah.
Personal development is like that big umbrella of self-improvement stuff,
Hmm.
changing habits, picking up new hobbies, focusing on your well-being.
Right?
Professional development is all about your career, gaining specific skills or knowledge you need for work.
Okay.
But personality development is different.
Okay.
It's deeper. It's about understanding yourself in every part of your life and then working to improve how you think, feel, and act.
So it's about those deeper internal changes that have ripple effects in all areas of your life.
Exactly. And that's where I think both of our articles connect.
Yeah.
Better Up really emphasizes that when you work on your personality, it makes a positive difference in both your relationships and how effective you are at work.
For sure. Like if you become more empathetic, you'll probably have better relationships, but you'll also be a better leader at work.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we agree on what personality is and that it can actually change. So let's get to the good stuff. How do we actually make those changes? Better Up gives us 15 specific activities to help us grow.
Oh, yeah. Let's dive into that.
The first one is about communication skills, which seems pretty basic,
Yeah.
but they make a good point about how important it is. They talk about active listening,
Mm.
really paying attention to what people are saying,
Right?
understanding body language, and being able to express yourself clearly. It's like the foundation of so many interactions,
It is. I mean, whether you're talking to a friend or working on a project, good communication can make or break things.
Definitely. And they point out, when communication goes wrong, you get misunderstandings, stress, even projects failing at work.
It's true.
But when you communicate well, you build stronger relationships and you're more successful professionally.
Makes sense.
Okay, the next one is something I really like, the idea of a 30-day challenge.
The 30-day challenge. Okay.
It's all about forming new habits. You commit to doing something specific every day for a month,
Oh, okay.
to build discipline and hold yourself accountable.
Right.
They give a bunch of examples, like journaling for 15 minutes, getting some exercise every day, waking up earlier, reading consistently,
Mm-hmm.
and, this is key, tracking your progress to stay motivated.
The accountability part.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a huge thing either.
Right.
The point is to stick to it for that month.
Yeah, I like that. It feels manageable, right? It's not forever, just 30 days.
Exactly. And even if that habit doesn't stick for life, you've still practiced that discipline. You can use it for other stuff too.
Oh, yeah, you build up that self-control muscle.
You do. Okay, this next one might sound a bit scary. Stepping out of your comfort zone.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I know, right? But it's actually really beneficial. The article mentions how it can improve your focus, your memory, even make you more creative.
Yeah, it forces you to think differently.
Exactly. They even suggest some ways to do it, like giving a presentation,
Mm-hmm.
volunteering for a difficult project at work, maybe writing something for, I don't know, a newsletter,
Ooh, yeah.
or just talking to someone you don't know,
Mm-hmm.
trying a new class.
I like that.
It's about intentionally putting yourself in situations that are a little bit unfamiliar.
It's so true, though, that when you push past those comfort zones, that's when you grow the most.
Yeah, you have to, right? You're kind of forced to adapt.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one is tough for a lot of people, myself included.
Okay, let's hear it.
Learning to say no.
Ooh, that's a big one.
It is, right? It can be so hard.
Why do you think that is?
I think we feel like we have to say yes to be helpful, to be liked, to be a good person. But saying yes to everything can actually backfire. You get burnt out.
Yeah, totally.
Better Up says learning to say no is crucial for developing assertiveness. And it helps you protect your energy so you don't get depleted.
Yeah, it's about setting boundaries, right?
Exactly. And it actually has some great side effects. Like they say it boosts your self-esteem, helps you figure out who you really are, makes you feel better emotionally, and reduces burnout.
Those are pretty great benefits for just saying no.
I know, right? Okay, moving on. They talk about tapping into your creativity. And this isn't just for artistic people. They actually say creativity is a skill you can build.
Oh, interesting.
And when you get more creative, you get better at solving problems and coming up with new ideas.
So it's helpful for work, too, not just like painting or something.
Right.
It's a way of thinking.
Exactly. Then they talk about cultivating curiosity, being curious about the world.
Mm-hmm.
They really emphasize how important it is to keep learning,
Right.
and that helps you both professionally and personally.
And you're doing that right now by listening to this.
See, I'm a model student. They suggest things like learning a new language,
Oh, yeah.
or reading self-help books,
Okay.
or listening to informative podcasts.
There we go.
So keep it up, everyone. Okay, now here's something a little different. Daily affirmations.
Okay, what's that?
Basically, it's about saying positive things to yourself. Things like, I deserve good things, or I can solve this problem.
Oh.
Sounds cheesy.
Mhm.
But the idea is that this positive self-talk can actually boost your confidence.
Interesting. Does it really work?
Well, they say it does because it taps into the reward system in your brain.
Oh, like you're training your brain to think more positively.
Yeah, exactly. You're intentionally building a more positive internal dialogue.
Okay, I like that.
Okay, this next one is crucial.
Let's hear it.
Prioritizing self-care. The article really emphasizes that you need to take care of yourself to have the energy and resources for personal growth.
Of course.
You can't pour from an empty cup, as they say.
Exactly. Self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. You can't help others if you're running on empty.
So true. Okay, another one that's often talked about, meditation.
Ah, yes, meditation.
It's all about being mindful, being aware of the present moment.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually helps you make better decisions.
Oh, interesting.
They even talk about mindful breathing as a specific technique.
Okay.
It helps you regulate your emotions and reduce stress.
Does it really work?
Well, they suggest trying guided meditation exercises if you're new to it.
Okay, I might have to try that.
Up next, journaling.
Journaling, okay.
They explain how writing regularly can help you regulate yourself, which is important for achieving long-term goals, like, developing your personality.
Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
It helps you process your emotions, get to know yourself better, keep track of your successes, reflect on your mistakes, and even reduce anxiety.
Wow, it's like a therapy session on paper.
I know, right? And you don't have to write for hours.
Hmm.
Even just a few minutes can help.
That's good to know. I'm not a big writer.
Me neither.
Yeah.
Okay, now this one might surprise you. Team sports.
Team sports.
Yep. They specifically recommend this for people who tend to be very independent.
Uh,
It's a good way to learn about teamwork, how to communicate in a fast-paced environment, how to take risks, and plan strategically.
right, so you're learning skills you can use outside of sports.
Exactly.
It's interesting, though, because you wouldn't necessarily think of team sports as a way to develop your personality.
I know, it's a bit unexpected, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, then there's volunteering.
Volunteering. Good one.
It's a win-win.
Hmm.
You help others, and you also work on your own personal development skills.
Makes sense.
Plus, you get to try new things, meet people,
Hmm.
maybe even make some professional connections.
Yeah, it's a great way to expand your horizons.
It is. And speaking of professional connections, they talk about networking.
Ah, networking. Can't avoid it.
They actually present it as a way to improve your social skills.
Oh, I like that. I hadn't thought about it that way.
Yeah, getting better at interacting with people.
Mm.
And of course, it can lead to job opportunities, but they also say it can spark your creativity. Well, when you meet different people with different experiences, it can give you new ideas.
Oh, yeah, I can see that.
And just putting yourself out there socially can boost your confidence, help you build a support network.
True, true.
Okay, last but not least, they emphasize two things that are super important. Seeking feedback from others
Mm-hmm.
and finding a mentor or coach. They really stress how valuable it is to get an outside perspective, especially when you're trying to improve specific parts of your personality.
That makes sense. It's easy to get stuck in your own head.
It is.
Yeah.
And they say that feedback actually helps you own your development. It builds confidence, encourages you to talk openly with people, and keeps you motivated.
Right. You see concrete progress and you're like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to mentorship or coaching, they say having someone to guide you can really speed up your progress.
Why do you think that is?
Well, they mention that people with mentors or coaches report having really positive experiences. They feel like they're more successful and have better mental well-being, and they feel empowered.
It's like having someone in your corner cheering you on and keeping you accountable.
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. Okay, so that was a pretty thorough look at the 15 activities from the Better Up article. Ooh. Now, let's join some insights from the top practices piece, which, as I said earlier, really focuses on the importance of self-improvement.
Right.
One of the main points they make is that successful people don't just fit personal development into their spare time. They make it a priority.
Mhm.
It's essential for them.
I see. So they're proactive about it. It's an investment.
Exactly.
Hmm.
And they connect personal growth to some really practical benefits at work,
Okay, like what?
like becoming a better leader, communicating more effectively, being more patient, listening better, being more organized. All those soft skills that everyone talks about.
And those skills are so important in any job, really.
Yeah, they are. And they point out that these skills, they might not be natural for everyone,
Right.
but you can learn them if you put in the effort. The article also emphasizes that self-improvement helps you build the skills and the discipline to not only set goals,
Mhm.
but also to make changes and achieve those goals.
I see. So it's not just about dreaming big, it's about having the tools to actually get there.
Exactly. They say that making big changes at work often requires making changes within yourself first. It's that whole, inner growth leads to outer success kind of thing.
Yeah, like fixing the inside to fix the outside.
Exactly. And they mentioned that personal growth can involve lots of different activities, like taking classes, reading books.
Right, makes sense.
They even suggest creating a dedicated space for personal development, like a little corner where you can focus.
Oh, I like that. Having a physical space can really help you get in the right mindset.
Totally. Okay, towards the end, the Top Practices article stresses that you have to start by taking stock of where you are, looking at your goals, honestly assessing your progress in different areas of your life.
So figure out where you are now before you can figure out where you want to go.
Exactly. That way you can figure out which areas of personal development you need to work on the most.
Mm.
And their whole message is that personal growth and self-improvement are essential for success in every part of your life.
It's like a continuous journey of becoming the best version of yourself.
Yeah. And you're in the driver's seat. Okay, so when we look at both of these articles together, the main message is pretty clear. Our personalities are not fixed.
Right.
We can change them if we want to, if we put in the effort and use the right tools.
It's encouraging, right?
It is. And it's not just about understanding ourselves, it's also about taking action,
Hmm.
identifying the traits we want to develop, and then actively working on them. And this isn't just some airy-fairy concept.
No.
It actually makes a difference in our lives.
Yeah, in how happy we are, how strong our relationships are, even how successful we are at work.
Exactly. I think what's really insightful is that these two sources, even though they're different, they both come back to this idea that we have the power to change and grow.
It's like we have all the tools we need. We just need to use them.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not alone in this journey either, right? We've got each other, mentors, coaches, people to support us along the way.
That's so important.
It is. So for everyone listening, I have a question for you. Think about all the activities we've talked about today. What's one small, actionable step you can take today to start shaping the part of your personality you want to work on the most?
Yeah. What's one thing you can do right now?
It could be anything. Maybe set aside 5 minutes to just breathe mindfully,
Mm-hmm.
or think about one communication skill you want to work on in your next conversation.
Yeah, start small.
Exactly. Take a minute to reflect on that
Hmm.
and maybe, explore one of these activities a little further. Thanks for diving dope with us.